This is Ag Matters PM from the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network, brought to you by the Iowa Soybean Association, your daily recap of the information that affects Iowa's farmers, producers, and consumers, right here in the heart of the heartland. With reports from our award-winning broadcast team of Dustin Hoffman, Riley Smith, and Mark Magnuson. Now, from the IARN studios in Des Moines, here's Dustin Hoffman.
Well, good day, everyone, and welcome to AMPM, Ag Matters PM from the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network. I'm Dustin Hoffman. Today is Tuesday, March the 19th, 2024, first day of spring, also National Ag Day. So happy National Ag Day to all the farmers and ranchers out there that help provide the food and fiber that we need to sustain our life here in the United States. Coming up a little later on in the program, we'll talk with Lacona, Iowa farmer Randy Miller, as he now sits on the U.S. Soybean Export Council board. But first, let's run down how the markets ended with our market recap.
It's time now for the Ag Matters PM Closing Market Summary, your source for market analysis and settlement prices from the day's trade in Chicago, courtesy of the folks at agmarket.net.
Well, we're at the end of the trading day, and it's time to talk with Curt Kimmel of agmarket.net. Curt, we had a slow start for the grains. Things seemed to turn around at midday. Were they able to hold on for the close today?
Yeah, they hung in there for the most part. Just continue to see some spread activity. When you look at the kind of the big picture here, they buy beans, sell corn, buy beans, sell wheat. Kind of a little bit of reversal there. Beans held in there, corn up about 3. Wheat fairly strong. Just kind of buying some time. Thought there would be a little bit more action here this week with the activity there in the Black Sea. Over the weekend, that escalating a little bit, but so far it's just kind of hanging in there. Wheat's hanging in there. Cold weather. I don't know if we're really going to see a whole lot of freeze damage for the most part. But wheat-wise, we did see some improvement on the crop ratings. We're supposed to get some moisture here to help the wheat in some of the drier areas here as we move to the week, but not real warm. First day of spring, not too bad. So we'll see if this weather pattern changes or if we keep the same type of trend for the most part. Planting progress, Texas on corn's 34% complete, about in line with their average. Louisiana's 28%. A year ago, they were 84% this time, but they're right at their 5-year average. So we're seeing some corn go into the ground. Here locally, we saw some beans, about 200 acres of beans southwest of town here. I'm in Bloomington, Illinois, Normal, Illinois, Central Illinois. A year or two ago, he put some beans in February. That didn't work out very well, but, a lot of beans are going to be ready to go here. So we'll start to see that pick up here as the weather takes place. But back to today's action that you mentioned there, commodity funds were in there buying about 2,600 contracts of wheat, 4,200 contracts of corn. They were flat in the beans going into midday. For the most part, I don't know if we'll see a whole lot of new news here for the week. We'll have to see if some of this export news comes forward or if the funds continue to cover shorts. As we go to the field, we're starting to see selling interest kind of dry up. I mean, there's some resting orders above the market, but what happens is when we start giddy up in here, guys have the tendency to pull the order or raise their orders a little bit. But I keep some price orders in there and try to capture some up here to get caught up. As far as we go through the week here, probably not a whole lot of activity as we see the NCAA tournament take place here, full-blown speed Thursday and Friday. So unbelievable. This is a last full week of March. Next week, we'll have the big acreage and grain stocks report on Thursday. Friday is Good Friday, be a holiday. We have a 3-day weekend coming up here, Dustin.
All right, and of course, you mentioned basketball, so it probably means people might be eating some more ribs, more steaks, or more hamburgers, what have you, while they're out there. Well, let's turn our attention to that livestock market. Boy, we thought we might ride the wave from yesterday a little bit, but it just didn't seem to be the case as the day was going on. How did hogs and cattle close today?
Yeah, we'll see how it. They were down most of the session, finished soft there. We'll look at the price chart here. We're just continuing to consolidate sideways. The thing about the fat market, we'll have the cattle and feed report here on Friday. We're starting to see some estimates come out. continue to watch heifers, see if we're retaining heifers or not. Main thing is with the grain market as low as it is compared to last summer or last winter there, feed inputs are doing quite well. But on the demand side there, weekly export sales report Thursday, we'll continue to watch, see if we see the beef and pork be sold. As far as the wholesale level goes, we're just kind of steady here on the hams, loins, and bellies, just kind of caught here. We'll start to see that cookout feature pick up here as soon as we get rid of this cold weather.
All right, Curt. Well, a lot of things for us to be thinking about. If folks want to talk about some of their market strategies and things they need to be thinking about, what's the best way for them to get in touch with agmarket.net?
1-800-779-1515 or go to agmarket.net, click on Intel. Our team put together some catch-up strategies, so if you feel you're a little behind on grain marketing, click on that Intel. They've got some catch-up strategies here, get you some caught up on some great marketing news.
All right. Well, Curt, we thank you so much for the insight, and we'll talk to you again real soon.
All right. Take care.
That again was Curt Kimmel of agmarket.net. Let's go ahead and take a look at how the numbers ended. That's courtesy of the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network market screen.
At the close, May corn was up 3.5 at $4.39.5. Soybeans down 2 1/4 at $11.85.5. Soybean meal up $2 at $3.33.90 per ton. Soy oil 56 cents lower at $48.14. Chicago wheat up 9 3/4 at $5.52.5. Kansas wheat up 9 at $5.82 3/4. Minneapolis spring wheat up a nickel at $6.55 3/4. Oats down 2 cents at $3.56.5. On the Merck, live cattle were down 52 cents at $188.05. Feeders down 2 cents at $255.07. Lean hogs down $1 at $85.82. Pork cutouts unchanged at $93.65. And Class 3 milk was up 11 cents. That was at $16.27.
And that's been our market recap. We're going to take a short break and hear from our sponsor, the Iowa Soybean Association and the Soy Checkoff. When we come back, we talk with U.S. Soybean Export Council board member and Iowa farmer, Randy Miller. This is Ag Matters PM.
Iowa Soybean Association is driven to deliver for Iowa's 40,000 soybean farmers. We're proud to provide objective agronomic research, a helping hand with soil and water stewardship, and timely industry news powered by the Soybean Checkoff. Learn more at iasoybeans.com.
Welcome back to AMPM from the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network. I'm Dustin Huffman. Well, more and more, we're seeing farmers take on leadership roles across the agriculture industry, bringing our perspectives to the national and global area, and also bringing those viewpoints back to our fields here in Iowa. Randy Miller is a Lacona, Iowa farmer, and he is now sitting on the U.S. Soybean Export Council board. And he talks to us a little bit about being on that board and what it means to him. We caught up with him at Commodity Classic in Houston, Texas. All right, we're at the U.S. Soybean Export Council booth here at Commodity Classic 2024, Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network. Of course, all our content being brought to you this trip by the Iowa Corn Growers Association. We're talking with Lacona, Iowa farmer Randy Miller right now, and you have just been put onto the board of the U.S. Soybean Export Council. Tell us about what your role is going to be on that board.
Well, Darren, I just got seated Monday at Commodity Classic, and what USSEC does is they're the marketing arm of the soybean world. So they go out and try to develop markets, sell soybeans around the world, tell our story of sustainability and what farmers in the United States do to produce a quality product.
All right, and you have that Iowa perspective on it. You know, we have a different way of doing things than other farmers do around the country. Tell us about how that's helping you there and spread that message.
Well, you talk to buyers around the world, and you explain to them how we raise the crop, what goes into that crop, and what we're doing to help make that sustainable. All right, and so your role on the board is just to kind of explain a little bit more about what your role is and how that goes forward. Well, it's just a board of directors made up of farmers, industry people, and it's a little bit unique in that perspective is bringing that industry people in. It's processors, it's crushers, ADM, AGP, Instapro. I mean, it starts at the farm with the farmer, and it goes clear through the process to get that being moved and shipped to the end user. So there's not really another organization that's made up of that diverse of a group of people. And when you talk about all the players basically in the supply chain from the field all the way to the end user,
Obviously Soybean Export Council's mission is to promote new markets, sustain the markets we have, and even improve some of those veteran markets, if you will, for lack of better terminology. How is it that you guys are looking forward here in 2024 for doing those kinds of things, especially when we're looking at sometimes a situation where we've got a little bit higher prices, even though they're coming down some, and also kind of the supply that we have on hand right now?
Well, as you know, 60% of our soybeans go to China. That's the main market. Well, it took years to develop that market. And what USSEC does is they go into some of those smaller markets and they help grow those markets. So I was also appointed to the Soy Excellence Center, which is 5 centers around the world that helps teach the users of the soybean product, whether it's meal or beans, how to improve inclusion rates, why U.S. soybean is a better product, a higher quality product than other products around the world. So we just work to grow that, to inform, to educate, and help people understand why the U.S. soybean is a better product and more sustainable.
And how are you able to relate what you know from being on the board and what you're going to be able to, how can you relate that both into your approach to growing the beans and maybe also share that with other Iowa farmers to help them in their approach to production?
A lot of times a farmer looks at I'm just growing this crop and I hand it off. I sell it and I'm done. Well, this is the connection between handing that product off, and then the next step is for the farmer to help show how he's done that. The end user wants to talk to the guy that raised his crop. No different than the mom in New York City wants to know where her food comes from. The buyers around the world have that same desire, is to talk to the farmer, to understand how we do that. That we care about the environment, that we're conserving water, and we're not overusing fertilizer and things like that. They want to know the whole process of what goes into raising that crop.
And one of the things that sometimes has been difficult, but we're getting better at, is getting farmers to tell that story of what they're doing. Why was it important for you to get involved and be a part of a board like this?
Well, I've always been one from the time I was small, I was taught to give back. And this is just one more case of being able to give back, serve the farmers in Iowa, and help promote a product that we grow every day, because if we don't promote it, who's going to?
All right, and so as you're looking ahead of that 2024 season, I know we're all chomping at the bit in Iowa. We've had that nice winter, basically, as nice as you can get. And what kind of things are you taking into consideration making those soybean inputs and planting this year as you get ready to go?
Well, we're looking at fertilizer use. Prices are coming down. Inputs are still fairly high. We're looking at trying to use as much as we can, as efficiently as we can. There's no need to spend any extra money, but every dollar we spend, we've got to get as much out of that dollar as we can.
All right, well, Randy, I appreciate you taking the time to visit with us today. I really do.
Thank you.
And that again was U.S. Soybean Export Council board member and Lacona, Iowa farmer Randy Miller. A reminder, all of our content that came from Commodity Classic was brought to you by the Iowa Corn Growers Association. And that brings us to the end of today's show. You can find all our content online at iowaagnet.com. Also, don't forget to follow us on Facebook, X, LinkedIn, and on our YouTube channel. Also, don't forget about the Free Market Podcasts available through Amazon, Apple, Spotify, Google, and Podbean. From the IARN studios in Des Moines, I'm Dustin Huffman. For Mark Magnuson and Riley Smith, as well as Andy Peterson, we thank you for watching. This has been Ag Matters PM.